What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post. You already know the vibes, and I'm back at you with your WWE Crown Jewel review. And I can't lie to you guys, I was actually really excited for this show. Not particularly for any matches or because of the crowd. I was excited because finally, at long last, we can finally stop with each episode of Raw and SmackDown, beginning with them showing the Crown Jewel Championship for the men and the women. They can finally stop bringing the pallbearers in, to bringing this big behind championship every show. I'm tired of seeing it. So at long last, the day has finally come. We're at the show. It's over. It's done. We probably won't see this championship anymore again until Monday Night Raw, because Raw is still going to take place in Saudi Arabia. But after that, we did it. We made it. We finished the story. Thank you, Jesus. But as far as the actual show goes, it was fun. It was a fun show. Surprisingly, we actually got a 7-match card from Triple H. I couldn't believe it myself. I was flabbergasted. I was floored. I was dumbfounded. I was befuddled. But something I was really baffled by was the fact that this show actually started off with the Bloodline match featuring Roman Reigns. I couldn't believe it. That was the opening match on the card. You had Sikoa's Bloodline taking on the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns. The Usos are back together, but you could definitely tell that there's still some issues there. This past Friday on SmackDown, Jade got to say his piece. He got to, speak his mind, get a lot off his chest about how he feels about Roman Reigns. And how this go around, that Jay's not going to be the right hand man. He's going to be his own man. The same with Jimmy. They're going to be individuals. They're going to be equal. Instead of it being Roman and the Temptations, it's going to be the whole Bloodline unified. And you could kind of tell that played into the dynamic of the match, because you had Jimmy and Roman come out first. They came out together, and then Jay came out, and you could see the look on Roman's face. He was kind of like, you could kind of tell he was impressed by the fact that Jay was so over, but at the same time it's Roman, so you could kind of tell that he didn't like the spotlight being on someone that wasn't him. So that was pretty interesting. And on top of all that, man, you had the Usos working together as a team, but Jay and Roman weren't really on the same page. There was one spot where Roman had his hand out. He wanted the tag from Jay, but Jay tagged in Jimmy, and Jimmy was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Roman was like, "What are you doing?" And they were making it seem like Jay's being his own man, but that kind of messed up the dynamic of the team. Whereas with Solo's team, they were working more as a unit. They were more cohesive. They were an actual team. But as far as the whole match itself goes, it was a whole lot of fun. It's always fun seeing Jacob Fatu do his thing. And for me, it's always fun to see the Usos working together as a tag team. Jay is over at like Rover. It was just crazy just to see the crowd just going up. They were singing Jay's theme song from beginning to end. That was pretty cool to see. And they were chanting for the OTC. They were chanting for the tribal chief. And Roman finally got in. He finally did his thing. But, like I said, Solo's team, they were working more as a unit. And to my surprise, Solo actually pinned Roman clean. There was one spot where there was a ref bump, and I thought that, okay, it's a ref bump in a Bloodline match, so you already knew shenanigans were going to happen. And there were shenanigans, but they weren't like Bloodline shenanigans. Like I said, Solo ended up getting the win. He got a clean win, a clean pinfall win over Roman Reigns, which was crazy. The crowd was shocked. It was just like, they were just so shocked that it was quiet. Like, they couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So after the match, you see the Bloodline beating up Roman Reigns. Solo hit a Samoan spike on Roman. The Bloodline's getting the beatdown. And then of all people to pull up, it was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn pulls up. It looks like he's going to join Solo's Bloodline, but he ends up hitting an exploder suplex, and then he ends up getting beat up by the Tongans and Jacob Fatu. And then the Usos, Roman, make the save. They get rid of the Guerrillas of Destiny. They get rid of Jacob Fatu. And the only people that are left in the ring is the original Bloodline, Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa. And they're all surrounding Solo. And it looks like Solo's going to finally get what's coming to him. Roman's charging up for the Superman punch. But while this is happening, Sami accidentally hits Roman with the Haluva kick. Solo gets away, and the Usos and Sammy and Roman are all fighting because was this an accident or did Sammy hit the Haluva kick on purpose? And I'm like, now I don't know why Sammy would go for a Haluva kick on a person that's standing in the middle of the ring. Normally the person's in the corner, but you know, it is what it is. But this definitely does add more of a dynamic to this Bloodline story, the ongoing, never-ending Bloodline story that will never end, even after we're all dead. So next up, we have a fatal four-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. You have the Metaphor taking on Jade, Cargill, and Bianca, Damage Control, and Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And they changed the beginning of Chelsea Green's intro. They took out the Samantha Irving part, and I guess you have Chelsea Green saying it, and it just doesn't hit the same. It doesn't have that same oomph. It doesn't have that same flavor as when Samantha said it. But you know, dims the brakes, homie. But as far as this match goes, it was a whole lot of fun. It was really good. The Metaphor are looking better each and every week. Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, they're looking good every time they show up on the main roster. I think at this point, man, you might as well just let them stay. Don't send them back to NXT. Just let them stay, man. Just come on up, man. We ain't gonna tell nobody. It'll be our little secret. But yeah, man, Damage Control is doing their thing. Io is just phenomenal. It's always cool to see Io and Bianca wrestle. And ultimately, what ended up happening was Jade Cargill had Piper Niven up on her shoulders, and Bianca hit the Doomsday device and ended up getting the win. And I was like, damn, Jade Cargill, you strong. That's a strong woman right there. But like I said, Jade Cargill and Bianca ended up getting the win. Fun match. And then we go into our next match, which was between Big Bronson Reed and Seth freaking Rollins. And in my head, I had this match and another match. I had their finishes kind of in reverse. Like, for me, I was thinking either Bronson Reed would straight up win the match, or there would be some type of shenanigans where the matches ended up stopping. Like, Bronson Reed just hit so many tsunamis on Seth Rollins that they have to end up calling off the match. And that didn't happen. What ended up happening was it was a good match. Like, you had Bronson Reed looking like an absolute beast, looking like a monster. Seth Rollins hitting multiple curb stomps on Bronson Reed while wearing the Jordan Space Jams, the Concords. I was impressed. But what ended up happening was Seth Rollins hit so many curb stomps, especially when off the top rope. He ended up getting the win. But even in defeat, Bronson Reed looked really strong because like he got up. After all that, he still got up and he was looking like an absolute boss. His eye was bleeding and it was just like it was just a real badass shot. So, and it was also announced that on Monday Night Raw, it's going to be a fatal four-way to determine who will face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to be Damian Priest, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Sheamus, and Seth freaking Rollins. And whoever wins that match will be the number one contender. So, yeah, I'm going to say Sheamus is going to get the win because I can see something going on with Damian Priest and Finn Balor, and maybe Dominic will be involved, and then Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed can do their own thing, and that leaves Sheamus, which, I hope it's on an episode of Raw and not Survivor Series because, yeah. So after this, we had the first match for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship, and it was between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan, and you had a random attempted cash in from Tiffany Stratton. She tried twice, and she kind of failed both times. Like the first time she tried to cash in, and Nia Jax was like, "What are you doing?" And then Tiffany Stratton tried to cash in again, and then Raquel Rodriguez stopped her. So there was that, and then you had Dominic Mysterio pull up. He distracted the referee. Liv Morgan hit the Oblivion on Nia Jax. And she is your first ever Crown Jewel Women's Champion. And I can't lie to you, I was kind of tuning in and out of the match. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. Like, I caught the things I just talked about, but outside of that, I didn't really care, man. I mean, good for Liv Morgan, but I don't care about this. Thankfully, it's all over with this. So after this, we had a grudge match between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. And the crowd was absolutely in love with Randy. They were singing his theme. They were singing it word for word, bar for bar. And the match never really started because this one went to a no contest. Kevin Owens attacked Randy Orton before the bell rang. He hit him with a steel chair. He was attacking his leg. They were fighting. You had referees and officials come out. You had the general managers come out. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce came out. Randy Orton RKO'd Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis didn't do anything to stop him. That was pretty funny. They're fighting off officials and referees. And then what ends up happening is Kevin Owens puts Randy Orton through a table. Like he does a elbow drop off the top of the balcony through the table. And yeah, the match never really started, but this is kind of more or less what I figured would happen. I thought that Randy Orton was going to lose and Kevin Owens was going to take him out. And like I said, I thought the Seth Rollins Bronson Reed match would have a no contest, but it is what it is, man. Kevin Owens looks like an absolute beast. He looks like a psycho murderer killer, and you know, more power to him. God bless. Get some therapy, buddy. So next up, we have a triple threat match for the United States Championship. We have Andrade taking out Carmelo Hayes, taking on LA Knight. Yeah. And my prediction for this match was for Carmelo Hayes, man. I thought that he would win. I thought he would come out being the United States champion, because I feel like the United States Championship, as much as I like LA Knight and as much as popular as LA Knight is, I'm kind of tired of him at this point. Like I don't want to say I'm tired of him, but I'm tired of him holding the United States Championship, because spoiler alert, LA Knight won, and the triple threat match was great. It was a great match, man. Like all the moves that they were doing, like the attempted pinfalls and the double team moves and however you want to call it, it was great. But I just felt like either Melo or Andrade would have benefited from winning the championship a whole lot more than LA Knight would retaining it, because at this point, what do you do with Carmelo and Andrade? Because they wrestled each other at this point like what, 8 times. You know, we had the game 7, the triple threat tonight. So it's like, what did they do going forward? So I feel like if one of them would have won the championship, it would have given them something to do. But good for LA Knight, I guess, man. I was really rooting for Carmelo, but them's the breaks. It is what it is. But we did see a new champion, and Cody Rhodes winning the Crown Jewel Championship from Gunther. And this was another prediction I got wrong, because I just knew in my heart, in my soul, in my dreads that Gunther was going to beat Cody Rhodes. But that wasn't the case. The match was really good. It was a really entertaining match between Cody and Gunther, because they're great at what they do, so that shouldn't surprise anybody. But the big surprise for me was the fact that Cody ended up winning. He beat Gunther. Yeah, okay, that's definitely a choice, but it is what it is, man. And apparently what happens now is the championships for both the men and the women never leave Saudi Arabia. So once the WWE goes back to the States, the Crown Jewel Championships stay in Saudi Arabia. But Liv and Cody do end up getting Super Bowl rings, like Super Bowl type rings. So yeah, that's good for them, you know. I don't know if you want to get your MJF on or not, you know. It is what it is. But yeah, good for Cody, good for Liv. They celebrated with Triple H and the Saudi Prince. And that's how we close out the show. That's how we close out Crown Jewel. Overall fun show, man. The crowd was hyped. The crowd was hot for the entire show. They were hyped for even the women's matches. So, you know, there's that, man. It's pretty cool stuff. But with that being said, you guys, what did you think of Crown Jewel? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Bees, I'm out. Peace.